Good evening. This is All India Radio. I am Nishit Kumar and with me is Renuka RS with the evening news. The headlines. Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs approves increase in minimum support price in respect of various Kharif crops for the marketing season 2022-23. Union Cabinet allows transfer of 10 in-orbit communication satellites from the Government of India to New Space India Limited. Reserve Bank of India raises the limit of individual housing loans provided by cooperative banks, also allows urban cooperative banks to extend doorstep banking services to their customers. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to inaugurate Biotech Startup Expo 2022 at Pragati Maidan in New Delhi tomorrow. Healthcare is the key focus area of present government, says the Prime Minister. India and Vietnam signed joint vision statement on defence partnership towards 2030. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh holds bilateral talks with his Vietnamese counterpart in Hanoi. And in sports, PV Sindhu and Lakshya Sen sail into the pre-quarterfinals of the Indonesia Masters Badminton tournament. Legend of Indian women's cricket Mithali Raj announces her retirement from all forms of international cricket, and India to take on South Africa in the opening encounter of the 5-match T20 series at Arun Jaitley Stadium in Delhi tomorrow evening. The Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs CCEA today approved increase in the minimum support price for all the intended Kharif crops for marketing season 2022-23. Briefing media in New Delhi, Information and Broadcasting Minister Anurag Singh Thakur said the approved rates are at least 1.5 times of the all-India weighted average cost of production. He said the highest absolute increase in MSP over previous year has been recommended for sesamum at 523 rupees per quintal, moong at 480 rupees per quintal, sunflower seed at 385 rupees per quintal, tur, urad and groundnut at 300 rupees per quintal, cotton medium staple at 354 rupees and cotton long staple at 355 rupees. The minister said it will lead to greater investment and production. It will also provide assured remunerative prices for the farmers and will help in achieving the goal of Atmanirbhar Bharat.
पिछले 8 वर्षों में प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी के बीज से बाजार तक दृष्टिकोण के कारण भारतीय कृषि ने नई ऊंचाइयों को छुआ है और सरकार ने किसानों को विभिन्न जोखिमों से बचाने के लिए, आय में वृद्धि करने के लिए और सूचना उनके घर द्वार तक पहुंचाने के लिए ढेरों कदम उठाए हैं। तो बीज से लेकर मिट्टी की सेहत तक, बीमा से लेकर सिंचाई तक, न्यूनतम समर्थन मूल्य से लेकर बाजारों तक एक व्यापक दृष्टिकोण से हर कदम पर किसानों का सशक्तिकरण हुआ है। मोदी सरकार के निर्णय किसान कल्याणकारी योजनाएं किसानों की आय बढ़ाने में और उनको राहत प्रदान करने में भी बहुत सफल सिद्ध हुई है।
The Union Cabinet has approved the transfer of 10 in-orbit communication satellites from Government of India to Messrs. New Space India Limited, NSIL, a wholly owned public sector enterprise of the centre under the administrative control of the Department of Space. The Cabinet has also approved increasing the authorized share capital of NSIL from 1,000 crore rupees to 7,500 crore rupees. The Union Cabinet today approved signing of Memorandum of Understanding among the Department of Biotechnology, Government of India and the Indian Council of Medical Research, ICMR, and International AIDS Vaccine Initiative, IAVI USA, to contribute towards the development of new, improved and innovative biomedical tools and technologies to prevent and treat HIV, TB, COVID-19 and other emerging infectious and neglected diseases.
The Reserve Bank of India has increased the existing limits on individual housing loans that can be extended by cooperative banks. In a statement, RBI informed that limits for primary urban cooperative banks, UCBs, have been doubled for Tier 1 cities from 30 to 60 lakh and from 70 lakh to 1.40 crore rupees in case of Tier 2 cities. For rural cooperative banks with assessed net worth less than 100 crore rupees, the limit has been increased from 20 to 50 lakhs, while for the remaining RCBs, the limit has been enhanced from 30 lakh to 75 lakh rupees. The RBI said the decision has been taken considering the increase in housing prices since the limits were last revised for UCBs in 2011 and for RCBs in 2009. Further, considering the growing need for affordable housing, the Apex Bank has decided to allow state cooperative banks and district central cooperative banks to extend finance to commercial real estate residential housing. While a detailed circular will be issued later, the RBI said this allowance will be within the existing aggregate housing finance limit of 5% of their total assets. The Apex Bank has also decided to permit UCBs to extend doorstep banking services to their customers on par with scheduled commercial banks. Talking to AIR, Manager of State Bank of India, Mr. Puneet Mudgal, opined that this move of central bank will facilitate to expand the customer service and remove the unnecessary interference of middlemen.
Definitely, I will support the RBI initiative taken for extending the limits for individual housing loans by cooperative banks, urban cooperative banks, and for the doorstep banking facility also that is being provided earlier by scheduled commercial banks only, because this will benefit the whole mass level of population which is living in semi-urban and rural areas of the country. And our central government is also taking initiative for providing the housing facility to the needy people. This will provide them self-dependency. It will also have more savings in their hands to make their family more financially strong, and also will lessen the burden on the public sector banks, which are already trying to enhance their number of branches for servicing these mass level of population. These cooperative banks will definitely add on to providing these services, and doorstep banking will definitely add on to this because the senior citizens will get benefited more. It will definitely have a good impact on the country and the financial inclusion initiative of the government.
The Reserve Bank of India has proposed to allow linking of credit cards to the Unified Payments Interface. The RBI said the facility would initially be enabled for RuPay credit cards, that too after the required system development is complete. It has informed that UPI is the most inclusive mode of payment in India, with over 26 crore unique users and 5 crore merchants on board the platform.
Earlier, the Reserve Bank of India today increased the repo rate by 50 basis points to 4.90%. The current repo rate is 4.40% after the rates were increased by 40 basis points at an off-cycle meeting of the Monetary Policy Committee. The central bank also revised inflation projection for financial year 2023 to 6.7% from 5.7% earlier. The RBI also left its financial year 2023 GDP growth forecast unchanged at 7.2%. RBI Governor Shaktikant Das said the standing deposit facility and marginal standing facility rates have also been raised.
The standing deposit facility, that is the SDF rate, stands adjusted to 4.65% and the marginal standing facility, that is the MSF rate and bank rate, to 5.15%. The MPC also decided unanimously to remain focused on withdrawal of accommodation to ensure that inflation remains within the target going forward while supporting growth.
Talking on inflation, Mr. Das said it is likely to remain above 6% in the first 3 quarters of the current fiscal. He said the central bank's steps will be calibrated, focused on bringing down inflation to the target level. The RBI governor said the Russia-Ukraine war has led to globalization and inflation. He said inflation has steeply increased much beyond the tolerance level. Process of recovery in emerging market economies is also getting affected, but the Indian economy has remained resilient.
The process of economic recovery in the EMEs is also getting affected. During these difficult and challenging times, the Indian economy has remained resilient, supported by strong macroeconomic fundamentals and buffers. The recovery has gained momentum despite the pandemic and the war.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi will inaugurate the Biotech Startup Expo 2022 at Pragati Maidan in New Delhi tomorrow and address the gathering. The Biotech Startup Expo 2022 is a 2-day event to mark the completion of 10 years of setting up of the Biotechnology Industry Research Assistance Council. The theme of the expo is Biotech Startup Innovations towards Atmanirbhar Bharat. The expo will act as a platform to connect entrepreneurs, investors, industry leaders, scientists, researchers, bio-incubators, manufacturers, regulators and government officials.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said that health for everyone is pledge of New India. He said the coming years will belong to those who have invested in healthcare. Mr. Modi said healthcare is among government's key focus areas. The Prime Minister has shared the details of the measures taken to strengthen the healthcare sector in India during the last 8 years. He said the last 8 years have been about augmenting health infrastructure, ensuring affordable and quality healthcare access to every Indian, and integrating technology with this sector. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will visit Gujarat on Friday. He will participate in a program named Gujarat Gaurav Abhiyan. During the program, Mr. Modi will inaugurate and lay the foundation stone of development initiatives worth about 3,050 crore rupees at Khudbel, a tribal region in Navsari district. He will perform the Bhumi Pujan for 13 water supply projects for residents of Tapi, Navsari and Surat districts worth 961 crore rupees. The Prime Minister will also perform the Bhumi Pujan of a medical college in Navsari district to be built at the cost of about 542 crore rupees, which will help provide affordable and quality medical care to the people of the region. Mr. Modi will lay the foundation stone of 8 water supply projects worth 549 crore rupees to provide clean drinking water to the residents of Surat, Navsari, Valsad and Tapi districts. The Prime Minister will inaugurate A.M. Naik Healthcare Complex and Nirali Multi-Speciality Hospital in Navsari. He will also inaugurate the headquarters of the Indian National Space Promotion and Authorization Centre at Bhopal in Ahmedabad. India and Vietnam have signed a joint vision statement on defence partnership towards 2030, which will significantly enhance the scope and scale of existing defence cooperation. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh, who is on an official visit to Vietnam, held bilateral talks with his Vietnamese counterpart General Phan Van Giang in Hanoi today. Wide-ranging discussions on effective and practical initiatives to further expand defence engagements and regional and global issues were held between the two sides. On the occasion, an MOU on mutual logistics support was also inked. This is a major step towards simplifying procedures for mutually beneficial logistics support and is the first such major agreement which Vietnam has signed with any country.
President Ramnath Kovind will be on a 3-day visit to Jammu and Himachal Pradesh from tomorrow. Mr. Kovind will address the 5th annual convocation of the Indian Institute of Management Jammu at Jammu tomorrow. On Friday, the President will address the 6th annual convocation of Central University of Himachal Pradesh at Dharamshala. He will return to the national capital on Saturday. President Ramnath Kovind will be on a 2-day visit to Jammu from tomorrow to address the 5th annual convocation of the Indian Institute of Management, IIM Jammu, and pay obeisance to Goddess Shri Mata Vaishno Devi. Our correspondent reports that the President will be the chief guest on the occasion and will be delivering the convocation address. Dr. Jitendra Singh, Minister of State attached with the Prime Minister's office, and Lieutenant Governor Manoj Sinha will be the guests of honour at this juncture. Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan and Information and Broadcasting Minister Anurag Singh Thakur today released the Volume 4 of selected speeches of President Ramnath Kovind named Loktantra Ke Swar and Republican Ethics at the Rashtrapati Bhavan Cultural Centre. In his address, Mr. Pradhan said the compilation of speeches by President Ramnath Kovind in his 4th year in office is a good barometer for the state of the nation.
हेड ऑफ द गवर्नमेंट की विचार कोई निजी विचार नहीं होते, ये देश की सामूहिक विचार के प्रतिफलन होते हैं। ऐसे विचार के प्रतिफलन जिसकी 2 आधार स्तंभ हैं, नैतिकता है और दृष्टि है। भारत की आधारभूत विचार है और आधुनिक चुनौती के साथ आधुनिक जिम्मेवारी क्या है। ऐसे सारे विषयों में एक राष्ट्र नेता की किताब आज हम सभी ने फिजिकल बुक और वर्चुअल बुक, ई बुक के रूप में आज हमने समाज के सामने समर्पित किया।
Information and Broadcasting Minister Anurag Singh Thakur said, our nation is undergoing a significant transition and transformation as we mark Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav and look to take leap into the future, envisioning our journey towards India's 100th Independence Day.
It is because of the hope, aspirations and innovations of our billion-strong population that we are taking giant strides in every sector. The vision of the Honorable President of India through his speeches have over time captured the essence and flavor of India in all its hues. Today's event and August gathering is a moment of happy fulfillment for the Publication Division and my ministry.
He said that the speeches of the President of India are part of our heritage, preserving for posterity the vision, the aspirations and the achievements of the nation reflected in the wise words of our head of the state. Minister of State for Information and Broadcasting, Dr. L. Murugan, Minister of State for Education, Dr. Subhash Sarkar, and Secretary in the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, Apurva Chandra, were present on the occasion. And in news just in, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said today the government has taken an important decision in the interest of its farmers who are dedicated to the service of the country. In a tweet, Mr. Modi said minimum support price for Kharif crops has been increased and this decision of the cabinet will empower crores of farmers of the country.
In Assam, polling for the 26 Karbi Anglong Autonomous Council constituencies spread across 2 hill districts completed this evening. In all, 74% voters exercised their franchise till the reports last came in. A total of 154 candidates, including 14 women, are in the fray. The counting of votes will be taken up on Sunday. Our correspondent reports that most of the seats are likely to witness direct or triangular fights. You are listening to the evening news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs approve increase in minimum support price in respect of various kharif crops for marketing season 2022-23. Union Cabinet allows transfer of 10 in-orbit communication satellites from Government of India to New Space India Limited. Reserve Bank of India raises the limit of individual housing loans provided by cooperative banks, also allows urban cooperative banks to extend doorstep banking services to their customers. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to inaugurate Biotech Startup Expo 2022 at Pragati Maidan in New Delhi tomorrow. Healthcare is the key focus area of present government, says Prime Minister Narendra Modi. India and Vietnam signed joint vision statement on defence partnership towards 2030. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh holds bilateral talk with his Vietnamese counterpart in Hanoi. And in sports, PV Sindhu and Lakshya Sen sail into pre-quarter-final of Indonesia Masters Badminton Tournament. Legend of Indian women's cricket, Mithali Raj announces her retirement from all forms of international cricket. India to take on South Africa in opening encounter of 5-match T20 series at Arun Jaitley Stadium in New Delhi tomorrow evening. For quick news updates on the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts.
अपने बिजनेस को बढ़ाने के लिए लीजिए आकाशवाणी का सहयोग और दीजिए उसे बुलंदियों के पंख।
आपका बिजनेस लोकल है या राष्ट्रीय, आकाशवाणी देती है उपभोक्ताओं तक पहुंचने का हर विकल्प।
और अब तो आप घर, दफ्तर या दुकान पर बैठे बैठे कर सकते हैं आकाशवाणी के किसी भी केंद्र के लिए विज्ञापनों की बुकिंग।
आकाशवाणी के विभिन्न चैनलों पर विज्ञापन देना सुलभ और सस्ता।
बुकिंग है तो संपर्क करें 870-001-4242 पर।
870-001-4242।
कंपटीशन की अगर आप कर रहे हैं तैयारी, तो उनके लिए ऑल इंडिया रेडियो पर हम लाए हैं अभ्यास, एक ऐसा कार्यक्रम जिसमें आप पूछेंगे सवाल व्हाट्सएप नंबर 9289094044 पर या फिर ईमेल करेंगे abhyas.airnews@gmail.com पर और हमारे विशेषज्ञ देंगे इसका जवाब। इस बार का विषय है इकोनॉमिक्स और सवाल भेजने की अंतिम तारीख है 8 जून। आपका अभ्यास हमारा प्रयास।
जन जन ने निर्णय लेकर भारत की सूरत बदली है, कदम कदम पे जनता मोदी जी के साथ चली है। 8 साल में हमने संभव को संभव कर डाला है, जब में उगे सूरज का देखो पश्चिम में भी उजाला है। साथ गई अब दिन आएगा भी तो ये बस भोर है, ये भारत का दौर है, ये भारत का दौर है।
Welcome back. You are tuned to the evening news on All India Radio. The use of technology has played a significant role in the developmental work done in various sectors in the last 8 years of the Narendra Modi government. It has made every effort to make India digital through its schemes so that the benefit of every scheme reach the remote areas of the country. The effort of the government is to make a digital India and self-reliant India. Connecting remote areas by laying a network of optical fibers has also proven to be a milestone in the direction of good governance. We have a report.
In the last 8 years, government has used technology for good governance and welfare of the poor. The government has presented various options for better use of technology. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said that it is very important for the country to be self-reliant in the new systems being built in the world.
इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर के फील्ड में हमारा डेवलपमेंट विजन एडवांस टेक्नोलॉजी पर बेस्ड है। पब्लिक सर्विसेज और लास्ट माइल डिलीवरी भी अब डेटा के जरिए डिजिटल प्लेटफॉर्म से जुड़ रही है। हमारे लिए टेक्नोलॉजी देश के सामान्य से सामान्य नागरिक को एम्पावर करने का एक सशक्त माध्यम है और देश को आत्मनिर्भर बनाने का प्रमुख आधार है।
To boost the income of the farmers, the Kisan Rath mobile app has been launched. The app is helping farmers, manufacturers and traders to hire vehicles to transport their products. 5,84,000 farmers, farmer organizations, service providers and traders are registered in the Kisan Rath mobile app. Minister of State for Agriculture and Farmers Welfare, Kailash Chaudhary, said that farmers and traders have got a lot of benefits through Kisan Rath mobile app.
किसान रथ ऐप के अंदर लगभग 5.5 लाख ट्रक्स और कस्टम हायरिंग सेंटर जुड़े हुए हैं और हम आने वाले समय में इसमें और संख्या बढ़ाने जा रहे हैं। इस ऐप से हमें कई तरह के लाभ होंगे। इससे व्यापारी को भी लाभ है, किसान को भी लाभ होगा और ट्रक के ड्राइवर को भी लाभ होगा और ट्रांसपोर्टर्स को लाभ मिलने वाला है।
Due to continuous encouragement of the government and the efforts of young scientists and researchers, India is becoming a rapidly emerging strong technological country on the world map, and it is setting an example for other countries. With Subhagikar, Anupam Mishra, AR News, Delhi.
External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar today held wide-ranging discussions with his Iranian counterpart, Dr. Hossein Amir Abdollahian, in New Delhi. They reviewed the bilateral cooperation, including in trade, connectivity, health and people-to-people ties. The ministers also exchanged views on global and regional issues, including Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, Afghanistan and Ukraine. Both ministers witnessed signing of an agreement on mutual legal assistance in civil and commercial matters. Dr. Hossein Amir Abdollahian arrived in New Delhi yesterday. He is also scheduled to visit Mumbai and Hyderabad.
Foreign Minister of Iran Hossein Amir Abdollahian, who is on an official visit to India, paid a courtesy call today on Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Welcoming the dignitary, Mr. Modi warmly recalled the long-standing civilizational and cultural links between India and Iran. The two leaders discussed ongoing bilateral cooperation initiatives. The Prime Minister stressed that both countries should work to accelerate exchanges in the post-COVID era. Mr. Modi requested the Iran Foreign Minister to also transmit his greetings to President Ebrahim Raisi and looked forward to meeting the President of Iran at an early date. Later, in a tweet, Mr. Modi said he was happy to receive Foreign Minister Hossein Amir Abdollahian for a useful discussion on further development of centuries-old civilizational links between India and Iran. He said, "Our relations have mutually benefited both the countries and have promoted regional security and prosperity." India has rebutted the Environmental Performance Index 2022 released recently. Environment, Forest and Climate Change Ministry said the index has many indicators based on unfounded assumptions. It said some of these indicators used for assessing performance are extrapolated and based on estimations and unscientific methods. The ministry said it does not accept the EPI analysis and conclusions. It said both forests and wetlands of the country are crucial carbon sinks which have not been factored in while computing the projected greenhouse gas emissions trajectory up to 2050 given by the index. The ministry said the weight of indicators in which India was performing well has been reduced and reasons for change in assignment of weights has not been explained in the report. The indicators on water quality, water use efficiency, waste generation per capita, which are closely linked to sustainable consumption and production, are not included in the index.
The legend of Indian women's cricket, Mithali Raj, today announced her retirement from all forms of international cricket at the age of 39 years. She retired from T20 way back in September 2019, but continued to play in ODIs and Test matches. Mithali retires as the leading run-getter in women's ODIs. She represented India in 232 matches, scoring 7,805 runs at an average of 50.68. Mithali made her international debut in June 1999 in an ODI against Ireland. She captained India in the ICC Women's World Cup earlier this year in New Zealand, where India failed to qualify for the semi-finals. It was under her captaincy that India reached the finals of the 2017 ICC Women's World Cup, where they narrowly lost to England. Mithali was also the captain of the team in 2005 when India lost to Australia in the final of the ICC Women's World Cup. The stylish batter scored 2,364 runs in 89 T20s, and the most by an Indian till date. Mithali also represented India in 12 Test matches, scoring 699 runs. She scored 8 Test centuries and 85 50s during her more than 2 decades-long career. Her innings of 214 against England in 2002 remains the second highest individual score by a batter in women's Test cricket. We have more in this report.
One of the most elegant batters in world cricket, Mithali Raj first gave a glimpse of her class with her performance with the Willow at a tender age of 19, where she scored 214 runs against England in the second and final test at Taunton. Her calm and composed batting style has always grabbed eyeballs. Her batting used to reflect copybook-style cricket composed with smooth footwork, strong straight drives, delicate late cuts and lovely hooks and pulls. Needless to say, her absence in Indian cricket will create an unfulfillable void. Adieu, Mithali. The Indian cricket fans will never forget your valuable contribution. With Pratyush Ghosh's report, Renu Kataria, AIR News, Delhi.
In cricket, the 5-match T20 international series between India and South Africa will start tomorrow. The inaugural match will be played at Arun Jaitley Stadium in Delhi tomorrow from 7 p.m. Rishabh Pant will lead India in the T20 series following designated skipper KL Rahul getting ruled out due to a right groin injury. Temba Bavuma will take command of South African team. As far as the playing conditions at the Delhi Stadium are concerned, the team winning the toss might opt to bowl first. Chasing will be a good option for both teams as the venue offers a placid tracks. In IPL 2022 too, many captains opting to bowl first after winning the toss. The two teams will play the subsequent matches in Cuttack on 12th, Visakhapatnam on 14th, Rajkot on 17th and the last one in Bengaluru on 19th of this month. In view of the upcoming T20 World Cup tournament, the bilateral series will be beneficial to prepare for the World Championship to be held in Australia. In badminton, Indian shuttlers PV Sindhu and Lakshya Sen today moved into the pre-quarter-final round at the Indonesia Masters tournament being held at the Istora Senayan Arena in Jakarta, Indonesia. Lakshya Sen defeated Hans Christian Wittingers 21-10, 21-18 in the men's singles, while PV Sindhu outclassed Danish shuttler Line Kristoffersen 18-21, 21-15, 21-11. Sen defeated Wittingers expertly in straight sets to advance to the subsequent round of the competition. In women's singles, Sindhu lost the first game but of the fixture to Kristoffersen by a narrow margin. But she came back strongly to win the following two games and round off a victory that sealed her place in the round of 16. In another tie in men's singles event, Sameer Verma lost to Indonesian Chico Ora Dwi Wardoyo 17-21, 15-21 in two straight games in the opening round. In women's single, Akashi Kashyap also lost the match against Daiwan Zhang 12-21, 11-21 in the opening round.
And now let us take a look at the weather forecast for tomorrow. The national capital Delhi will have strong surface winds during daytime. Temperature will hover between 29 and 42 degrees Celsius. Mumbai will have rain or thunder showers. Would occur towards afternoon or evening. Temperature will hover between 29 and 33 degrees. Chennai will have generally cloudy sky with light rain or drizzle. Kolkata will have partly cloudy sky with possibility of development of thunder lightning. Srinagar will have partly cloudy sky with one or two spells of rain or thunder showers. Jammu will have partly cloudy sky. Leh and Gilgit will also have generally cloudy sky. Muzaffarabad will have mainly clear sky. Hyderabad will have partly cloudy sky with possibility of development of thunder lightning. Bengaluru and Thiruvananthapuram will have generally cloudy sky with one or two spells of rain or thunder showers. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs approves increase in minimum support price in respect of various Kharif crops for marketing season 2022-23. Union Cabinet allows transfer of 10 in-orbit communication satellites from Government of India to New Space India Limited. Reserve Bank of India raises the limit of individual housing loans provided by cooperative banks, also allows urban cooperative banks to extend doorstep banking services to their customers. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to inaugurate Biotech Startup Expo 2022 at Pragati Maidan in New Delhi tomorrow. Healthcare is the key focus area of present government, says the Prime Minister. India and Vietnam signed joint vision statement on defence partnership towards 2030. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh hosts bilateral talks with his Vietnamese counterpart in Hanoi. And in sports, PV Sindhu and Lakshya Sen sail into the pre-quarterfinals of the Indonesia Masters Badminton Tournament. Legend of Indian women's cricket Mithali Raj announces her retirement from all forms of international cricket, and India to take on South Africa in the opening encounter of the 5-match T20 series at Arun Jaitley Stadium in Delhi tomorrow evening. And with that, we end the evening news. Good night.
गरीबों का परिवार भारत सरकार। देश के 9 करोड़ 17 लाख घरों को मिला गैस कनेक्शन। 2 करोड़ 60 लाख घरों को मिले बिजली कनेक्शन। 9 करोड़ 50 लाख से अधिक घरों तक पहुंचा नल से जल।
दुख दर्द को बहुत निकट से अनुभव किया है, एक परिवार के सदस्य के रूप में। काम कर रहा है।
8 साल सेवा, सुशासन, गरीब कल्याण।